Hey, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines, and the last, certainly for the moment, the last question that I was given by Beth with my orders to do a video on this and give my input, which is purely anecdotal. It's what I think, and I'm a foreigner, so maybe this will be a question that she would be better equipped to do, but I got the job. Okay, so I'm going to give this over to Beth now, and then I'll get back to you. And of course the question is, why are Filipinos or Filipinas obsessed with marriage? I don't know. I think that that women generally consider that marriage is their certificate of security. It really doesn't work that way, does it? But I read a good quote that in one of my quotation books that said, the reason to get married is that the marriage will hold you together when you fall out of love, it will hold you together till you get back in love again. And that seems to be the way to do it. What did Sam Goldwyn of Goldwyn Mayer, the great studio owner, have to say about certificates, about contracts? He said that a verbal contract was not worth the paper it was written on. One of those funny quotes that's nearly correct, but actually makes a lot of sense. It's one of those things, isn't it, that women will take it that if a man is prepared to marry them, then he will be prepared to work at the relationship when things go a little bit bad, which they can do and will. Now, if there is no contract, between which after all is what a marriage is, the marriage is a written contract. It's what's the other quote? If it's not written, it's not true. And that really explains, in a very simple terms, why women in general, I think, are intent on getting married. I used to work in a little club called the Wrangell Club, and there was a very nice woman used to come in. Her name was Susan. She might recognize herself if she ever comes in on this. And marriage was terrifically important to her. And I remember that she would have an occasional boyfriend, but actually she wanted to get married. She had a child, a very young child, and obviously a wrecked relationship for whatever reason. And I remember her coming in one night, and she held up her hand, and she had the ring on it, and she held that up, and she looked. It was the happiest that we'd ever seen her look from the stage. I used to have the band at the Wrangell Club, and that's a little club in Mayfair. I have no doubt that it's still there, and was quite an exclusive club. Getting a membership at the Wrangell Club was quite difficult. So women like to have the written confirmation that you will stay with them. I'm addressing the males now. But I think it's also another thing, is that a wedding day for a woman, this is something that men will not easily understand until they share that day with the woman that they love. And then something about the magic of that day for the woman will rub off on the man. And I've seen the strongest of macho men be reduced to tears on those days. And so, myself included, I remember that it was very important to me when Beth and I got married. And I think it was very important to Beth. We actually had what I often think of as an absent-minded judge do the ceremony, and compared to the marriage of lovely May and Dwayne, they actually managed to get the mayor of Taliban to do the marriage, the civil marriage, and because Beth said it was because he was looking for election as a congressman, I think, and he was very vocal and really quite entertaining, and insisted on all of the photographs and everything, which in the rush job that we went in and got married, all the magic had to come from in our hearts. The judge was quite a dreamy kind of guy. I'm not sure if he ever found his way home, to be honest. I hope so. So it's an easy question that every woman wants to have that wedding day, no matter how simple the ceremony is. And Filipinas are no different. Maybe more so, because in the Philippines, when a man marries the woman, then it is a huge relief to them to feel that they will be happily supported in the ways that are important to them and their child. And it means also, especially if, like Beth, they come from a religious family. Beth's family are all involved in the Foursquare Gospel Church, that Pastor Timio is he is the pastor of that church. All of his family are involved every week. Every Sunday they're involved, right from his wife down to his two daughters, and he has several sons. And all of them are involved in that. So the marriage thing is very important. When I met Beth, my meeting with Nanai was very much that she was quite blunt. She said, "What is your plan?" She wanted to know what the plan was. And for those of you who were in on the interview that she gave to Mike, when she asked the same question, a lot of people thought that it was very, very blunt, that he was being interrogated. No, he was being questioned as to what his intentions were, which I never thought anything of that personally, but some of our subscribers thought that he was being interrogated and pushed. No, he wasn't. He was being asked what his intentions were. In places like Greece, Greece, Turkey, the man who was interested in a particular girl would actually not address her. They would pass in the street, they would pass wherever they were able to see each other, and they would exchange looks, and they would know whether the attraction was there within them. Whether they would know that they were suited would be another thing, because this is about the second one down from an arranged marriage. Because what would happen is that as long as a man received the right response in terms of looks, he would go to the father of the girl, and he would ask for the hand in marriage of his girl. then there would come a period of courtship, and this also happens here in the Philippines. When lovely May went, she went on a tour, various places that she went with Duane, but they were chaperoned by lovely May's sister, and lovely May and her sister had one hotel room and Duane had another, and so that was the way that went until lovely May finally said that she wanted that she was willing to say yes, and that was everything went on that kind of thing. And that was how it was for Beth and I, that we decided that was what we wanted, and then the family was invited over. And I remember that it was let me see, it was Nanai plus Lena, and I think Bewley. Did Bewley come, Beth?
Yeah.
She's not. Yes, actually she said yes. And they brought with them, I think it was BB, I'm not quite sure. Was it BB that they brought, Beth?
Yeah, and Grace.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So they brought BB, and I remember that while they were there, I got sick, and so did BB. I think BB came and was not well, and had a high fever, and I remember sponging her with a damp cloth in cold water, and then eventually I got that too, and I was sick for a couple of days. Probably the water, because when you're not used to that city water, I can't imagine why we did that, but I did get sick. I got over it. But anyway, that's why Filipinos want to get married, because they want security, they want commitment, they want all of those things for their children, and they want it so that the relationship is blessed in the eyes of God. I think that pretty well sums it up. Thanks for subscribing if you can. Thanks for liking, and thanks for commenting if you can. Bye for now.